Yeah, it's coming on now.
Okay. All right. Hi guys.
Wait, it's not up yet.
It says it's now streaming live.
Oh, mine doesn't. But go ahead. Okay.
It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. You can release your video over here. Oh, now they're telling me you're live. Hi guys. We're back. You still can't see that you're live?
No, I'm muting my thing.
Oh, okay.
So okay.
Okay. All right. I just muted mine too. So guys, we just wanted to come on very quickly, as we always say, very quickly. And
this time it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick because Cindy got stuff to do. So
yeah, oh, just me.
Oh, me too. But
just me. Guys, we perk up, but we are so dangity tired. You could probably see the tired lines under my eyes. I'm so tired. I know.
No.
I know. So let's what we're gonna do, we decided we'll do a few things that we think that he did well. I don't want to say well because it's like some kind of grade. Maybe the things that he's accomplished, and then the things that we feel maybe need to be accomplished, because it's only 100 days is really 3 months, like 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do, I just quickly wanted to read through just the things I skimmed to remember what he actually promised. So he promised an immigration bill, which is a path to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented aliens. He promised to undo executive orders that affected climate. I feel like I'm so shrunk down. Climate. He promised to help government assistance for people in the States. He promised $2,000 in stimulus. He promised.
He made a lot of promises.
Yeah, I know.
Like, geez.
I had to listen to a few of his speeches to write it down, but healthcare, of course, to deal with healthcare, universal healthcare. To look into, I guess, some sort of a group for the police department to start dealing with justice and policing. Promised that. He promised to work with different organizations, I just said that, and to unify us. He promised to punish Saudi Arabia for them killing a journalist. He promised the Iran nuclear deal. He promised to reduce Trumpism, and he promised to enter the Paris Accord agreement. That is not everything, but I honestly was getting loopy after that. So those are a lot of his promises. What do you have, Tiff, that you think he did glowy?
That he did well. I'll start with my pros. I guess the two bans that he lifted, the Muslim ban on the what do you call it, the travel from majority Muslim nations. I never agreed with that form of discrimination. You basically are saying that these people are here or will be coming here to hurt us when most of the threats are within the country already. So that's one of my things that I think he did. He promised, and he did. I think he did that like fairly quickly. And people in New York, I saw them celebrating at JFK because that's an immigrant state or immigrant city. I'll say New York City, but
in Queens,
that's something that he did correct. And I would say the transgender military ban, he lifted that as well. I don't know the intricacies of why they were banned, but look, if you want to fight for this country, then go ahead and fight for this country. That's the way I feel. Like, I'm not going. A lot of people I know don't want to go. So if there's someone that wants to go, and I know there was an issue with them with, I think they were getting their procedures paid, but still they're property of the United States military.
Right.
And if they want to fight for our country, why not? Isn't that part of your duty as an American to fight for your country? So why not? That's
and also with that, with him doing that, getting rid of that ban, the FBI, as well as other federal agencies, Homeland Security, have already said the biggest threat to the United States is using the United States citizens. Actually, the biggest threat is domestic terrorism and anti-white, white supremacy. That's the biggest threat here. So what are you talking about? Worrying about Muslims?
Yep.
So they're not the biggest threat.
They're not. And I mean, everybody is ignoring that simple fact that,
Mhm.
they're not the biggest threat. And I mean, we
Nope.
have not had an attack since 2001.
Right.
And I mean, they haven't been banned from coming in here. So I'm not sure why there's such a big issue. But
Well, it was, it's people of color, persons of color. I mean, whether we all want to see ourselves as persons of color, we are, those are persons of color. And so anybody with some brown in their skin, they're a threat.
yeah,
They
for
would
sure.
declare it against blacks if they could. They
Well, I
would.
mean,
They secretly declared it, but they would like out loud ban us if they could.
oh man.
I believe they would. So what's something else you had?
Those were the two pros that I had. Those were the only pros so far that I thought of right off the bat. I mean, I know he was saying that he's talking about police reform and wanting to work and pass the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act.
Right.
He wants to do those things, but we have to wait through Congress. And that's not something I would suggest through like an order or without Congress, and I don't even think he can do that, but it's something that he's saying that he definitely would sign and that he would he would be in agreement with, but he hasn't done it yet. So I can only go by what he's done so far. I mean, of course, both presidents during the pandemic have issued stimulus checks, so I can't say one or the other.
Right.
That's just helping people. So
well, that was one of the things they said, that we got 600 under Trump, and then we got the 1,400 under him. So people did get 2,000, but they didn't necessarily get it from him.
Yeah.
So the things that I had that were sort of glowy, he promised 100 million shots in arms of the vaccine.
Okay.
So we're up near 300 million. So that's good, of our first shot.
Yeah.
I think about 300 million people have the first shot, and nearly 100 have both. So
no, I think it's total. Isn't it total?
Because no, I read it. It was everybody doesn't have. Remember, they said a lot of Americans don't have the second shot. A lot.
But I thought, because how many Americans is it total? It's like 300.
We have 320 something million people.
Yeah.
So they said 300 million have or at least had one shot.
Okay, at least had. No, I don't think that's right, because I think like I said, that would mean most of the population is already at least halfway vaccinated.
Well, you're not. You lose that benefit once you don't get it after a couple of weeks. If you don't get the first shot, you lose whatever. You're not fully. Yeah.
But that would mean only 20 million people did not get vaccinated. So that
no. Let me see.
So
how many people how many Americans got the shot? Americans have been vaccinated.
But that is definitely
he's gotten, it said 202 have been administered. 202 million have been administered. Okay,
have shots, not actual people. So
more than 130 million people have received at least one.
Okay, yeah, that sounds better, because I'm like that the whole entire
so United what States. It is the 202 have been administered. So I misread it.
Okay, so, yeah, that makes sense, because I'm like, I know there's such a pushback against the vaccine in a lot of communities.
And a lot of
I'm like, if only 20 million people are left to get it, then shoot, we should open completely.
No, we're gonna open. New York is getting ready to open by July.
I saw that.
And I'm really, really nervous about that. And I'm also nervous about the announcement by the CDC that says it's okay now if everybody in your circle has been vaccinated to take off your mask out in public. People are going to start with the wildness in closed doors. Like, I've been vaccinated, so I could take off my mask in Walmart because I've been vaccinated. It's going to start. You could see the foolishness. Maybe not in New York, but I know with Floridians and people in Florida be fighting. Texas, Florida, those states are going to start really running amok. Even though they've been doing it already, burning.
I was going to say that. I don't think that's going to make a difference. I mean,
burning
people are people the way they are. But so what are some of the cons? Because
wait. No, I got some more. I got some more pros.
Oh, okay.
He got a lot of judges. He's appointed.
Okay.
He did a very diverse cabinet. His cabinet is very, very diverse. One of the things I think was wonderful was Merrick Garland is the Attorney General now. he's now opening a lot of cases against the police department.
Yeah.
So I think that's because if you guys don't know, Merrick Garland was the one that Obama tried to get on the Supreme Court in his last, I think, year or two of presidency, and they all pushed back on it. And so now that blew back in their face because now he's Attorney General and he's now pushing against the police department. He got us in the Paris Accord Agreement. He did make an executive order for masks. He's going after college tuition. I'm trying to get some free tuition in there somewhere. So that is a discussion. He did the stimulus, 1.9 million. So I think, and he's got a 55% approval rating, which I don't always go by. Anyway, what are the cons? What do you think?
I was gonna say, so those are some good pros. I mean, I wasn't really thinking of all of those things, but those are some good ones. The cons is definitely the immigration issue. There is a problem at the border. And oh my God, I'm like, when are they gonna do something about this? Like they're putting their heads in the sand as if there's nothing going on. And I'm just like, really, what's the problem?
Dare I say that it's worse than the other guy?
I would say that because everybody's basically bum rushing in. They're like, okay, well, the borders are open. And really, what is a country without borders? What country can you go to where you don't have a border? Like and I know we're always concerned about the southern border, but with Canada, I don't know what they do with the Canadian border. I always wonder, like, who's manning the Canadian border? Are they really concerned? It's Canada saying that. They're like, our wall is secure. But they need to do something about that border at the southern border. The kids without their parents. They're staying in hotels because the facilities are overrun. And if you're gonna put me up in a hotel, if I was immigrating to another country and you put me up in a hotel and I'm just gonna get to stay, then I mean that's not a deterrent either. Something has to be done. That's the con. And then the other con was the it's kind of like the same thing. The border wall is not funded. He took the funding away for the border wall, and we need our borders. I mean, you have to. It shows where the country ends and where another one begins. I mean,
I don't understand. I don't understand what he's thinking on that. I don't know. I'm speechless concerning that border. We have a triple down rise, and like you said, kids coming in here parentless. It's just a muck. He also did not punish Saudi Arabia like he promised. The Iran nuclear deal is not done. They're still discussing things. So, but he did send COVID relief to India. So I was glad to, see that he's trying to help because he realizes that if you don't help India, that problem is going to be our problem. Because they're basically overrun right now. Their hospitals are overrun. They're basically Italy of last year. And if that continues to be a problem, you know how many Indians we have here. Our border, our airports are not closed. We're opened back up. I don't even think we're doing testing. I don't think that we're doing tracing. I don't think we're doing anything to stop the new strains of COVID coming in.
Yeah, and that's what one of my doctor friends was saying, that India is just a plane right away. It's not like, okay, there's some world away where we can't get to them. It's a plane right away. And even with borders being closed or planes not going out, you can always connect just like they did when they came in from China through another country, stay in Europe for a little while. So it's going to affect us sooner or later.
It's going to hit us. It's going to hit us again. And I don't know that this vaccine can cover it because it's a new strain. Also, finally, my last thing, I don't know about his racial equality so far.
Okay.
He says a lot.
Okay.
Oh, that was bad what you guys did. That was awful. But he signed a lot of executive orders in his first maybe month in office. I mean, if they're not going to do justice and policing in the Senate, which he keeps mentioning it, what is he going to do if they don't address it? Can there be an executive order to address some of chokeholds, the things that we see with, chokeholds is the main thing we're still seeing. Use of force, no knock warrants. We're still seeing this. A grandmother was recently held for like whatever amount of time because of a wrong no knock warrant. So we're still seeing this. So what are they doing about that? So that's my things.
I wonder if it was if he did something like that by executive order, how much weight it would hold and how it would affect the local police departments. But that's, of course, something we would have to discuss.
There's some funding that comes from the federal regardless. So whenever you fund something, you get to police it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have executive orders. He has executive orders for a lot of things concerning climate, even which affects states like Texas and stuff like that, the windmills and stuff. So if he can do that, surely he can somehow address some of the federal funding that they get. Start to threaten their funding, they'll get their act together, just like Cuomo did for the state. He said, listen, all the municipalities, get your life together, or I'm going to start withholding money from you.
Yeah.
Because he is over the state, but he kind of lets the police departments remain locally, but he's still saying, listen, I am in charge of the purse. You have the power of the purse. He could wrangle a little bit, or even just go politicking in the Senate.
Yeah.
Maybe try to make barter and deals in the Senate, and Kamala Harris is the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's a lot of efforts that he could be making. So it's just, I mean, look, it's the first 100 days. So how many more days does he have left?
Well, it's 365 a year. He ain't even do a year yet. So we know that that's 1,200 days in the next 3 years. Plus,
I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you watched the speech or any part of the speech, but
I did.
Man, I just don't like listening to him talk.
We're back to normal. We're back to normal. We're back to normal. But if I hear the word jobs one more time,
oh my gosh!
I mean, he said jobs 50 times, maybe 100.
Oh man,
jobs. So I mean,
you know what? If he's promoting something that's going to change, I think he's trying to do the what is it they call it, the FDR New Deal type thing, where
he's trying to be the FDR.
People were against Social Security and Medicare and all of that stuff, but try to take it away now. Try to take that away from people now. They'll be up in arms and having a fit.
Well, even Obamacare. Try to mess with Obamacare.
Now it's like, oh no, you can't touch my.
Now we're socialists, right? Now we're a socialist country until everybody get back on their feet, and then we'll go back to capitalism.
Yeah, I don't think we're fully either one, socialist.
No, it doesn't. No, we're not.
We're socialists with the rich as well, as you see it with Jeff Bezos and Amazon
bank bailouts.
Taxes. So
bank bailouts.
The
banks got the PPEs. Multi-million-dollar companies got that PPP money.
Yeah. Yep.
I think his greatest accomplishment is staying out of the freaking news and staying off Twitter. How about that?
It's so funny how I told you what Donnie said. When he was like, "How come we never see Joe Biden?" And I was like, that's usually that's a normal thing. We don't usually see the president. Like we don't usually see the president. So that's
his biggest accomplishment.
It's like, I don't see him. They never show him. Like, they don't. No.
Yep. And they're not supposed to.
Man. So you have anything else or?
No, I just, it was interesting to see when he was making the speech to Congress to see the two women behind him,
That was definitely, I was like, wow, look at that. Yeah, they were standing up there like bumping elbows and smiling. It did look different. You've never seen that before. And he did acknowledge that. He acknowledged that, that's never happened. Like,
and saying Madam Vice President.
Yes, he said that's never happened. I mean, hey, what do you do?
Like I said, his cabinet looks very diverse.
It does.
I know all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Yeah.
So as we can see with that idiot, Tim, whatever his name is, get up there and say racism doesn't exist. Racial inequality, systemic racism.
America. No, he said America is not a racist country. Didn't he say that? I think that's what he said.
Something along. It's not systemic. Nothing's. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you can agree, you can disagree with certain aspects, because I mean, we have diversity of thought. We're not monolithic. Black people have different stories all across the board. But to say America is not racist when this is a country that had Jim Crow, separate but equal slavery, that did so many things that to fight against equality, you can't say
Well,
that it's not racist.
sure,
It
but
is
he's
based on
saying that
race.
no, what he's saying is that you shouldn't hold it against them from what they did in the past. But if this dum-dum would open a book now or a newspaper right
Yeah.
today, where Georgia is trying to roll back voting rights, Texas is trying to roll back voting rights.
Right, but he's saying at its core that America is not a racist country.
Oh,
He's saying basically like,
So-
America is not a racist country.
okay.
And that's why I say, if you look at
So-
just the history today, yesterday, when you look at the fact that we were held and owned by people. I mean, and that wasn't based on just your ability, it was based on your race. We were separate but equal based on your race. So yeah, those races, that
How
racism
could you say it's not at the core when what happened in Georgia and what happened in what's happening in Georgia, Texas, and all those places is not new?
Yeah.
It's so how can it be, and how can it be that when you hear of a verdict for a police officer literally executing someone in public for writing a bad check and possibly being a drug user, people are shocked that the verdict was guilty? How could you believe that racism is not there? How could you believe that? How could you see the riots at the Capitol, not one brown face, and they all got to scale the wall and beat the hell out of the cops with whatever?
Well, there were brown faces in there. I don't know.
They were
I would have
taking
been
pictures.
afraid. I would have been afraid to be a brown face within that
They
sea
believe me, they didn't scale that wall. You ain't see them on that wall
of angry people. But they were in
they were MAGA walking. They were walking.
Like
they weren't scaling no daggone wall. First of all, we don't care like that. And second of all, we know better.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm surprised that they were just out there thinking. I mean, it's just.
No, Herman Cain died at one of the rallies, right? I mean, so I'm not surprised.
Well, he didn't die at the rally. He probably caught corona at the rally.
He caught the vid from it. But
and then they said they don't even know. They said they don't know where he caught it from.
Right,
he could have caught it from anywhere. He was
just like they don't know what the vaccine. They don't know the vaccine was causing blood clots. Yeah, right, or paralysis.
Yeah, I mean they know.
Yeah, they know.
Or to be fair, let's just say, or that Cuomo didn't know all those people were in the nursing home dying.
You know, he explained it better and better and better. I understand what he means. He said that the number didn't change. What the problem became was, which I still wonder, if you in a nursing home and you get COVID, you get so sick they take you to the hospital and you die in the hospital. Is that a COVID death from the hospital or a COVID death from the nursing home? So that's where the problem was. They didn't know how to classify. The number didn't change, but it was where. So they said, let's say 20,000 in the nursing home. No, wait. 18,000. No, wait. They kept flipping the numbers, not the
they don't know where the person
they know where they died, but they don't know who to attribute it to. That's what he's saying. Like, I get it. Just think about it. If you in a nursing home and you get sick,
it says
and you go to the hospital
home. I mean, how do you
but they're
not
saying
know?
Like who, because you could have gone to the hospital right near death. Is that because you know what it
die
is?
At the nursing home, you died at the hospital.
You didn't die at the nursing home, but let's say.
No, let's not say, because it's either that's a black and white thing. You either died at the hospital.
You got to understand you got to understand their criteria first, and I don't. So I'm not going to say I understand their
So the criteria is if they died at the nursing home.
Who do you assign the death to? Like at what time period? He explained, like what time period do you say? So to me, this is my opinion. As long as you didn't say nobody died or less people died than died, period. I don't think, for me, if it was my parent and they died, whether they died at the nursing home, unless there was malpractice somewhere as a person that the person died, I'm going to be like, they died. And I'm mad about them dying. I'm not going to be mad about you saying it was there and not there. What it became to me was that the hospital wanted to say, this is not our death. And the nursing home wanted to say, well, this is not our death. We sent them to you. So it was this. We sent them to you. No, you had him first. He got it there, but he was in detriment.
The question is, where did they die? That's the whole thing. Because I mean, you sent somebody. If they weren't dead, then that means that they died somewhere else. Unless they died in the ambulance or the transportation over there, then they died in the car. But
I don't think that's what he's saying. The question. I mean, he knows better than I do because that's his job. But it wasn't about from what I understood of what he was saying, it wasn't about.
I'm sure he's going to say what he needs to cover his
No,
ass.
but I
and
mean,
that's
who am I
just
to
being
question it
fair.
if I don't understand? Like, I would have to read. In other words, I would have to read the criteria. What they mean is it what we're saying so simplistic as where you died, or they wanted to know where to assign, like how do they whatever? Because Dr. Zucker is saying something very similar. It wasn't about that. It was about they didn't know when this all first hit where to put this death, because people are going to go back and forth. Hospitals, first of all, hospitals wasn't even counting at first. They weren't even counting. And then the Lord had to come in and say, y'all must count every day and give us a number. When New York got hit at the very beginning, above everybody else, they didn't really know what to do with stuff. So they were like, somebody died. And then people started saying, where? How many numbers here? How many blacks? How many this and how many that? And so they were like, no, people started pointing fingers. But I want to know I would like to know, what do they mean when they're wondering about these numbers? Like, what do they mean?
Yeah, well,
like that's what I want to know. That's my question.
I mean, I know it's something around those numbers, and if you are trying to be fully transparent, you'll say, well, they died at the hospital, or they were transported to the hospital, and that's where we reported them from. Or
yeah, but if you were trying to hide it, you would reduce the number. You wouldn't say the person. In other words, the person is still dead. Like, they're not saying the person didn't die. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to figure out where to assign it.
Well, you can't really hide a death. I mean,
no, right, but I'm saying that would, you could underreport. You could say, we had less deaths than New Jersey. We can say, we only had 1,000 and y'all had 4,000. So they weren't. That's what I'm saying. The numbers
weren't checks and balances when you issue death certificates and stuff. So I mean, that's not something.
But it's not saying that you didn't die. But that's still, I don't have to report it. I still don't have to report it.
Right. But if someone did, let's say you buried the deaths and you said only 2,000 people died, and New York City over the course of that time issued 6,000 death certificates, that's something that can be easily traced. So
but of COVID, it's not the deaths, it's of COVID.
Right. Of
so
COVID.
I don't have to say you died of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have to say that. I could say you died of a heart attack, which you probably did, from COVID.
Okay.
Like right now, look what they're doing with the vaccine, right? People are dying from the vaccine, but they're like, they didn't die of the vaccine. They died of a blood clot, but the blood clot was caused by the vaccine. So they're not saying the person didn't die. They're saying the person didn't die of this.
Okay.
So that's where the problem is. People are getting sensitive in terms of calling something a death based on something.
Like I said, if it was the other guy, if it was Trump and he was hiding numbers or doing something where it seemed a little shady and didn't say blah blah blah, it would be a different story. We love Cuomo.
No. I don't defend Cuomo at all. I don't actually.
No, I'm saying I love him, and I still want him to run for president because I just I
love the way he handled. I love the way he handled it, but there's some shady stuff with Cuomo. I know he's a bully. I know he's been, but I'm saying, like, to me, if Trump had said 500,000 people died, 10 of them died in Texas and 5,000 of them died over here and 20,000 and then you find out later it was 5,000 over here and 2,000 over here. You didn't reduce the number of dead by this disease. That's different to me than saying.
But you have people in those nursing homes where their kids are their parents are going to those nursing homes thinking that it's safer or safer than being in a specific place. So the transparency is needed, especially in a
it's needed. I definitely think there was a mess going on there, but I understand that they were overrun. They actually told us to go to restaurants in the very beginning too. Yeah. They actually told us to keep the schools open, and I took my kid out. So it was a lot of things that was mishandled at the very beginning. And they also followed the CDC guidelines, and they should not have they didn't know. But the CDC said, keep the person in the nursing home. If my parent was in the nursing home and you brought a COVID person into the nursing home, I'd be furious. That I would be furious with. But they followed the CDC guidelines, which is on the president.
Yeah, I would have been upset too. Yeah. So, and then if you're saying that they are dying mostly at the hospital versus at the nursing home, I still would be a little upset because you're not giving me the information to make a good decision. And that's what I had a problem with the schools reopening in Florida, because remember in Florida they were skewing certain numbers and they weren't giving us the information we needed. So I can't make a good decision of whether or not to send my son back because you're not giving me the information I need. Give me the information I need. I'm an adult. Let me make my decision based on
Well,
the true information. But that's
well,
just
I think what the bottom line is, and what we're discussing pretty much, is the 100 days of Biden. And one thing you can say for sure is the president makes the most difference in how things are handled. This thing wasn't handled out the gate correctly. So if from the door, January, when they had those initial meetings, December, when they had those initial meetings, hey, there's a virus coming.
Mm-hmm.
If it had been handled from the very beginning, all the states would have been able to do what they needed to do. So it's very important. I mean, while we're glad that we have a president that's not on Twitter and not in the news all the time, it's very important that he knows, he understands the importance of his voice in leading us, even though we feel like we're more led by our governor. He understands it. You know what I mean? He understands the importance of his voice. And so that voice initially caused a lot to happen. That's probably, the truth will never be unfolded of all the chaos that was caused by mixed signals. By mixed
Okay.
signals.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
like, of course, the previous president, and like you said, we're talking about Biden, but the previous president was all over the place with his directive, if you want to call it that. So
He's gonna run again in 2024, so we'll be able to discuss him.
oh man. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe, but they're pushing Ron DeSantis over to you know.
And his that little Trump. So one of them are gonna probably run. Ron DeSantis. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. We are so screwed if that happens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really don't pay attention to a lot of his his whatever he does and says. I mean, he actually made a lot of sense after watching what happened with the what do you call it, with the schools reopening. Like I said, we've had little to not, I don't want to say none, but very little cases, and I don't know about any deaths unless they're reporting them somewhere else. Cuomo. But
We never know.
we haven't had that issue. So when he
Well, he
said,
arrested that woman that was trying to report on y'all deaths and stuff, on y'all, the woman that he
well, it
raided
was
her
the
house.
cases. She was
Right,
trying to report on
right.
the number of cases. But and that's
So
why I say in the beginning. But when you look at what he was saying, follow the numbers and about the kids not dying and all of those other things, he reopened the schools in August, and I have to give him credit. The schools have been running open for the entire year, and like
the
I said, I
big
haven't
problem
heard
with that,
anything.
the big problem with that is that there are plenty of multi-generational households like mine. If my
Mhm.
son went to school and got it, he probably would be fine, but my mother would not.
Yeah.
So I would have a problem with a school opening and saying, oh, the young, because that's all they kept saying, the young kids can get over it. Yeah, but a lot of families all live in one house. Grandma picks, when I was a teacher, a lot of the grandparents picked up the kids
But
from school.
that's why you have the ability to do like what Donnie is doing. You can stay home if you want, and now they're opening up the virtual school if you want. So it doesn't take away from the fact that those kids, even with the teachers and everything, that everybody that they're interacting with, that it has been successful. And that's why I say I have to give him credit where credit is due.
Right.
I mean,
I would be
they've been
curious
open.
about any state's numbers at this point. At this point, I don't believe any state's numbers are accurate at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, I
don't.
know, I mean, Donnie has friends that he plays with that go to school, and we see them every day. They have had cases. I'm on the school board, so I know the cases, and kids are they're still going and coming. So I'm assuming they didn't, they didn't die and the teachers didn't die. I'll just say
Right.
that. So
Yeah,
I feel like
the only issues with that, I know we have more cases than we believe we had because a lot of people either got it and didn't get tested. Testing was all over the place. First of all, they weren't testing at first. So how the hell you know who had what? So that's number one. Number two, people can, not go home and self-treat. So if I don't, and I personally know of a few people's like, I'm not going to get the test. I believe I have it, but I'm not going to get the test because it affects your record. It actually is on your record. And I think in the future, it's going to be considered a physical pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
So why the hell would I want to get a positive result? I mean, I only took one because I had to get another procedure done and they were like, you have to get one. Otherwise, I wouldn't have wanted one either because what if it's and false positives? So I don't even know. I'm just happy We have a normal person. Are we happy with him 100%? No. Can we take him 100%? No. But we have a sane person in
we
office.
have a normal president that Donnie could say, why is he never on the news?
Where is he?
He asked me that, and I was like, that's normal. I was like, the president is not always talked about. He's like, they never say or show Joe Biden. They never say it. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how the presidency usually is.
No leader should be seen so much like that. Even if it wasn't for the pandemic, I wouldn't have been seeing Cuomo like this.
Yeah.
We don't check for de Blasio. We don't be checking around. You don't see him all over the place. You just, when they have the press conferences, that's when you see him.
Yeah.
You don't
like
see
I said,
them in general.
With what do you call it? With oh gosh.
That guy?
What's his name?
It doesn't matter. No importa. Wait, yours, the president, the ex-president, which one you look?
No, with Biden, I mean, it's just a return to normalcy.
Yeah,
and,
it's normal.
But I do want Cuomo to run just so I can
I
hear
do.
him.
I do. I just like how honest, how clear he was with his directions and stuff. And on a final note, you say you don't like hearing Biden speak. I really don't like Kamala speaking.
Yeah, she has like a whiny voice.
It's whiny and giggling all the time. Just girl, sit down.
Yeah, she has a whiny voice, but I mean, no one is perfect. That's all I can say is not one person.
I mean, I be screaming all over the place, so who am I? And you could jam up a word, don't front.
Oh yeah. Oh heck yeah. I mean, my teeth be twisted like Teresa saying.
Shout out to Teresa.
What's that word? What is that word? Oh my God.
And then you keep trying. And I'm like, she ain't gonna give up.
Seldom. It's something man told me to say the other day. I forgot what it was. And he was like, say it the right way. And I was like, I am saying it is part of the accent too. So it's like, I forgot what it was. But he was
you have
like,
an accent?
I guess so. He said, he was like, say, I guess the New York accent, because he was like, say, what was the word? It was like orca? Was it orca? How do you say orca? That's what it was. Orca, like a whale, like a O-R-C-A.
With an O. You said orca.
Orca. I can't say it. So
wait. Now you're gonna jam me up. Wait.
Jam. Orca.
Okay. Wait. Shh, wait. I can't do it. Wait. Orca. It's an O.
Orca. I kept trying to say it, and he was just looking at me like I was dumb. And I was
it's the New York accent, because anything with an or sound, New Yorkers can't say.
I can't. But orca.
That's an or sound. That's an or sound. Orca. Like I say okay, let me ask you. Say water.
Water.
Say it again.
Water.
See, you say water just like I do, but it's water. You say water. So Brooklyn, water.
Water. What the hell? Water.
Exactly.
Water?
That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be water. But we say water. Okay, so say coffee.
No, because my friends from Florida always tease me about that word.
Are you saying?
I think I'm traumatized.
No, it's the or sound. It's the or sound. It's anything with an A-L or A-W.
Coffee.
Oh God, you sound the worst.
Thanks, Cindy. Way to build my word building. Wait, way to build my word building confidence. Man.
No, because I remember me and my sisters, we were doing the taping of that show we used to do. And I didn't know how bad I sounded until I said, why I sound like that? And I was like, guys, we went on the water tour. I said, water tour. Say water tour.
No.
Say
no,
water tour.
I'm not saying these words.
Yeah, just say it.
Not saying
say
these
water
words.
tour. Come on, Tiff. For the road.
Water tour.
But isn't it tour? See, we say tour like T-O-R-E. But it's
tour. Shut up.
Okay, we're gonna be talking about how long we was on here. All right.
Yeah, because you said 7:10
I
and
said
it's like
7:10.
7:45. We've been on
And
for
you
an
said
hour.
6:30 and it was like 6:51.
It was 6:40 something because I
It was
was
6:51 because I looked at my thing. I said, uh-oh.
Is it
We
okay?
actually
So
were done though. We actually were done. We just fooling around.
it's 40 minutes. It's
All
well,
right,
we
guys.
started at 6:51, but
We probably could cut all of this out, right? No,
yeah,
it's gonna go live.
We'll just leave it up there.
Okay.
Because
All right, guys. 100
um,
days of Biden. Hopefully he gives another stimulus check. I didn't get the second one, so I don't know.
oh no.
All
Man,
right.
call them or when you file your return, get it.
I
But
know,
bye,
right?
guys.
Bye, guys.